howdy, folks. It's Charles During. I'm gonna let a few folks get in here, and then I will get to talking. By golly, cause y'all know I like to talk, but I also like to scroll, and that's fun for all of us. I hope. I'll wait till we get 5 or so people in here, or when it sort of calms down, then I'll get going on this, as well as tell her I just got off the phone with the doctor regarding my swelling in my face and eyes. So I will update as best I can on that, but I wanted to wait for a few people to get in here, so not only one person is seeing what I'm saying. We got Wayne and Woodturner. Hello, Mr. Wayne, and Jesse Ramirez. Hello, buddy. I appreciate both y'all being here. I hope y'all will be patient with me. I'm going to give a chance for a few folks to get in here because we got 7 people. I'll go ahead and say it. For those that don't know, I've been having my eyes and face swelling for right around a year now. Nobody knows why. We still don't know why, but I had an MRI. Friday, and he wanted to rule out because we thought there was a mass in my eyelid on my left side. The MRI, he says, shows that there is no mass in there, just swollen more than the other side. So believe it or not, that is good news. There is no mass, so that means there's no tumor, there's no cancer. That was something we wanted to roll out pretty quick. So that's the exciting part. The still guessing part is we don't know why it's inflamed, my face and eyelids. They're supposed to call me back to set up an appointment. He asked me if anybody had tried steroids. Again, because all there is swelling. There are no masses, according to the MRI. So that's the beautiful news. So he wants to try steroids. Thank you, Tim Turner. Tim Turner on YouTube says that's great to hear. Yes, it is great to hear. So that's the weight off my chest. Now it's kind of a hurry up and wait because we don't know what's causing it, but he wants to try different things to reduce the swelling and then hopefully figure it out in the process. He asked me if I had tried steroids. I had not. So his office is going to call me to set up an appointment to consider that possibility. So that's where we're at. I'm going to scroll, but I wanted to update everybody that's been keeping up. And if y'all don't mind spreading that on Facebook, because a lot of people have been wanting to know, but I'll probably post it after the live stream, that there is no mass, which means there's no tumor, there's no cancer, and the rest of it's just swelling. We don't know why, but I'll get back into scrolling. It's awesome to hear. Thank you, Wayne. Yeah, I'm big weight off my chest. So there's that, and we're going to get into scrolling, but I just wanted to update everybody on that because I got the phone call literally 2 minutes before the live stream. So luckily it wasn't a long drawn out phone call, but that was good to know. But it is perplexing, wondering why it's happening. It's been that way for close to a year. If it was like, a couple of weeks, I would think allergies, but it could be a more severe allergy. I have no idea over here. And yes, I just used a New York accent. Merry Christmas to you, sir. Tim Turner. Actually, Merry Christmas to everybody. Even if you don't celebrate, I hope everybody has the warmth and fun and closeness that we should have all year round. It's sad we only do it on holidays, but life's short, so everybody have a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, whatever you celebrate, even Festivus. So I appreciate everybody's support, and it means more than you know. Jeff Robinson's trying to get me to move over to Dallas-Fort Worth. That ain't gonna happen. I like the size of this. Brendan Lenane, hello from Ireland. Hello, Brendan. I appreciate you joining me. Brendan's writing from over on Facebook. Appreciate you very much for joining, Brendan. I encourage any questions and comments as I'm going, but when I'm by myself, I have to cut a few cuts, and then I'll look over to see. Dang it, somebody's... never mind, I got a notification that threw me off. When I'm by myself, on the panel here, so to speak, in the live stream, I have to do a few cuts, and then I'll look over to address comments and questions. I try to address every single one of them. All I ask from the viewers is that you please be family friendly. I'm trying to calm myself down on that because it's not like we have real foul mouths going on, but it slips every now and then from people. I need to accept that. I would like to think the majority of the viewers know I can't control everything. But that being said, if anybody else does pop up on the panel, Jamie Page is editing videos and getting things done right now. He's in the UK. If he's able to join, he will pop in, and he will be able to read your comments and questions to me. But last two things I will say is, if you're watching on Facebook, you won't be able to see the comments that people are doing from YouTube, and vice versa. If you're on YouTube, you won't be able to see the Facebook comments. That's why I read them out loud. But if you are on Facebook, I am told that the video quality is usually better on YouTube. I don't know why that is, but if you want to connect on YouTube, I hope you'll subscribe and hit that bell to be notified. On YouTube, I go by Charles Deering Scroll, or you can just look up Charles Deering. You should be able to find it. But please subscribe and hit that bell to be notified. And if you're on YouTube and want to connect on Facebook, even just for chatting, on Facebook, I go by the Charles Deering. That's all one word. And that's the last of that. So we'll get to scrolling, by golly. Hello from North Carolina, says Joe Kinney. Appreciate you being here, Joe. Randy Bosheen says, that's great news, Charles. Yes, sir, it is. I'm tickled pink. I still don't know what's causing it, but at least I know it's so far not detrimental to me. All right, so people are talking amongst each other. I'm going to get to scrolling, and when Jamie Page pops up, I will allow him in, and y'all have to put up with his UK accent. I might have talked just a little bit too much because I dropped from 12 to 9 viewers. Anyway, any questions or comments, feel free to throw them out there, regardless of whether or not they're on topic. If they're family friendly, I'll address them. Let me get my stool adjusted here, and we shall get going on scrolling. Now, I do apologize that if you haven't watched the live feed of mine before, I can't always have the piece facing you when I'm cutting because it's what I call visual comfort. I like to have, I can't really even put it into words. I like to have certain cuts facing me a certain way. So every now and then when I'm working on an area, it'll be upside down to y'all, but occasionally I'll flip it around so y'all can see what we're working on here. So I hope y'all understand that. It's a visual comfort. I don't know how else to explain it. But one thing you do need to know is I traced this live on the air yesterday or last night, and that took a while. But I was pretty rough or quick and rushing when I was tracing it on there. So there's little lines that are wavy that I'm going to try to correct while I'm cutting. So if you see me go off the line in some cases, that's me trying to correct a sloppy line. But one area I need to adjust is this tire if I have a circle big enough. And I'll just fix it while I'm cutting. So let me go ahead and get going, and I appreciate y'all being here. And my stupid stool fell down again. All right, I counted yesterday. There are 210 pilot holes on this project. The biggest area you will see the wavy lines is in the oval when I was drawing it very quickly, but I cut the perimeter out roughly because I can use a belt sander to get down to the line. But here we go. And I always say with people and animals, I always start with the face. And on these Cars characters, they have faces too. So it's the same case. I started with the eyes and then moved over to the mouth. And now we're just jumping around a little bit. No rhyme or reason to the order of the cuts. For those of you that join live streams all the time, you can hear me repeat things I've already said because you never know if a new person's watching. And I like to teach if I can. I'm always going to try to move the camera to keep majority of what I'm working on in the middle of the screen. I am using a 22-inch Hagner saw. I'm using number 5 spiral flat-ended Flying Dutchman blades. And I have 1,790 products on woodenvisions.com if you're interested in buying scroll saw patterns and instructional videos. woodenvisions.com. Tim Turner's south of Fort Worth and Glen Rose, by golly. Okay, he was talking to Jeff, so I'm just going to get going. No, really, I am, I swear. And I will try to do live streams at least once every day, if not twice. I say day, but for some people it's night, or even the next day for UK viewers. In some cases, they're 6 hours ahead. Right now, it's when I started the live stream, it was 1 p.m. my time. And I'll do this as long as I can, and then I'll probably come right back and do another live stream in the evening. We just never know. That's why you need to hit that bell to be notified if you're on YouTube. It'll let you know every time I have a live feed scheduled. One good thing about the spiral blade, I think it can be done with flat blades as well, but I think it's easier with a spiral blade. Is if you get a little wave in the line, you can use this spiral blade as a little mini sander to just kind of get little waves out of the line. And also, this upper arm on this saw is not wavy. It's just the shutter speed on the webcam that can't keep up with how fast that arm is going up and down. I use my saw all the way up. I'm talking 90 miles an hour. I need to slow down, don't I? Not slow my scrolling. Because there's those that will tell you that I already scroll slow, but that's because I'm careful and paranoid. That's fine, Tim. I know you were. Nothing wrong with having fun. That's what we're here for. People can be here just to watch. People can be here to have fun. People can be here to chat with others on YouTube or Facebook. Whatever works for y'all works for me. And if I can help at least one or two people every time I do a live feed, maybe learn something, then that's a good thing. So anybody that may have a beginner question, it's okay to ask. It doesn't make you stupid. Everybody starts sometimes, or sometime, singular. I don't know it all. If I don't know, I'll tell you I don't know, but I'll try to help you find the answer. I only use spiral blades. So, Tim, are you saying there's a delay between Facebook and YouTube, or is it the whole feed that's delayed? Because I'm the only one using my internet connection, and my desktop is shut down, so this should be the only thing using the internet. Hopefully you're talking about between the platforms there's a delay, because I hate it when there's a delay between when I say something and when you, like when the saw goes on and off. Hopefully you're hearing it in real time and not some kind of weird delay. That'll mess with things. Makes things less fun to watch. But yeah, I value y'all's feedback on video and audio quality, because if I don't know if things are having issues, then I won't know what to try to fix. Get that waste piece out of there. Okay, it's a delay between the two, so it's not actually the feed. Okay, good. It's a delay between Facebook and YouTube. I am told most of the time that YouTube has better video quality. I don't know why that is. Might be the technical crap behind the scenes on Facebook is glitchy or slow. Now I have these little dots right here. I could have just drilled the pilot hole and left it, but since it's got little bitty fuzziness around those drilled holes, I'm going to go ahead and just round them out slightly larger than they are. And when you see me taking forever, it's because I can't find the stupid pilot hole. I use a little bit smaller than a 1/16 inch drill bit, so it makes it harder to find the pilot holes. And I don't want to do that cut yet because I want to do the little ones inside of it. So I will look for the pilot hole around the outside. There we go. Mama Bear, she said, Tracy Keaton says she loves Mater. I like Mater too, I tell you what. Give me a good old boy, I'll live forever. There's still some good old boys out there. They just talk funny every now and then. But I don't know what to tell you, you know me. Tell you what. Let me get this here camera set up better. Yes, I'm wearing the same shirt I wore yesterday because that's how I roll. I could have just left these holes as where I drilled the pilot holes right here, but if I can reduce the fuzziness, then that's a good thing. On the top of the piece anyway. You're going to get fuzzies on the back when you use a spiral blade. Trying to find that stupid pilot hole. They like to hide from me. If it takes me too long, I put a light up under there to find it. What I'm doing is what they call bottom feeding. Bottom feeding means you're feeding the blade through the pilot hole at the bottom of the piece. Top feeding is the opposite of that. Jeff Robinson on YouTube says, Charles, not to be unconcerned about your condition, but I see in The Mind's Eye, the movie Skipping Christmas with Tim Allen, you are playing Tim when he goes and gets a Botox injection. Praying. I appreciate it. All right. Now, for anybody that is keeping up, I doubt this is the steroid thing where I'll end up with humongous muscles. I'm pretty sure that's not the case. It's probably just an anti-inflammation thing. I have no idea what all steroids do. I just saw that I missed a pilot hole yesterday. I thought, okay, so apparently I have 211 cuts. So after I cut this one, I will drill that pilot hole because I missed one. Dagnabbit. I always miss at least one. I hate that. And I thought for sure I finally had a project where I got all the pilot holes. Alright. The reason I'm going to do the pilot hole now is so I don't forget to do it and then have to stop later. So I just found a second one. Good lordy. Okay, so I'm gonna drill those before I forget where they are. Oh, which is a little bit off screen, and I apologize for that, but it's not exciting. Okay, big noise, and another big noise right now. And I thought for sure I'd finally had a piece where I got all the pilot holes on the first try, but I missed two. So that means there's 212 cuts in this. And whenever you're doing an area like this, where am I at? Make sure I'm on camera here. You'll see that there's two smaller cuts inside this big round cut, and this big round cut's only going to be holding on right there. So to reduce the odds of this breaking out, I'm doing the little cuts first, because if I tried to do that big cut first, and with it only holding on there, cutting these two could vibrate it too much and try to break it. So I'm just lessening the odds there. I'm not saying it would break, but let's lessen the odds of that happening. I don't know why I talk so quick. It's like I'm running out of time kind of thing, but I'm not. I did live feed last night just under 6 hours. Time isn't always an issue. It depends on how conscious I am. So although majority of the cuts are random as far as the order I do them in, the example I just gave is something you need to keep in mind. If there's an area that doesn't have much keeping it holding on, do the little areas inside of it first. And Tracy Keaton says, beautiful pattern. Thank you, ma'am. I used to be so good at finding those pilot holes real quick, but I'm just losing my touch. Now, I always say pattern lines are a suggestion, but every now and then it will alter things if you don't stay on the line. A good example being this circle here. I mean, this right here is the waist area, but then I need to stay on that line here because the headlight is round. So I want to stay on that line as good as I can, but everybody I tried to contact earlier before the live feed is contacting me now, but I can't talk because I'm doing a live feed. And for those of you that don't know, at least every couple cuts got to have that Dr. Pepper. Hello, Mr. Lee Nyden. Scrollers chat out in the chat on Uniden on YouTube, not Uniden. Tim Turner says, when you take steroids, Charles, dang it, notification got in my way. When you take steroids, you will be able to run 3 miles, scroll at the same time, and eat everything in the kitchen. Well, that'd be cool. That could be nice, big, and tough. Right now, a majority of my weight is because of Dr. Pepper, because I barely eat. That's because I'm so darn healthy, I guess. Okay, again, when I get to going on this headlight, I want to keep it round. So I'm going to be bummed if I go off the line, which it does happen. I'm far from perfect, but it won't be the end of the world. Unless the headlight, even if the headlight were to, for some reason, if I just got weird and cut the whole thing out, we'd just have a big circle there. But it is an old rustic truck, so it kind of is okay for this. Here we go. I always run my saw all the way up. Some people don't, and that's fine, whatever your confidence level is. But for me, running this saw slower doesn't really change anything. I'm going to go ahead and start that circle so that I'll have that to follow. And if I go off the line, I just have to be consistent. But I started that so I could do this other piece of detail and not chew it up trying to get back to the circle, if that makes any sense. Okay, now we're going to do the long constant line. Times like this is when it stinks when your blade breaks, because you're trying to stay on one consistent line. If it's a little bit wavy, it's okay because of the nature of what the theme is. And I went off the line, but I didn't jerk back to the line because that would make a big divot in the line. But it's not 100% round, but for the most part it's working. So there's that. Now we're just going to jump around. Any questions or comments anybody has, please feel free to throw them out there. I will respond if I see them, as long as they're family friendly, which they tend to be. Every now and then something slips with people, and that's fine. I'm not a snowflake. It's funny, when I'm trying to give people advice on the spiral blade, one thing I always tell them, let the blade do the cutting, because it can't feed into that blade any quicker than you push it, and it can't go in any direction that you don't steer it. Certain woods will try to follow the grain, but as long as you're keeping control, you're good. But to this day, I still find myself pushing too hard into the blade, and that's why I tend to break blades. I'm going to turn this sideways so I can check the round on that. Yeah, I get a little, I mean, it looks like I have a little nick, but there's also a little bit of carbon paper line there, so it looks nicked, but it's not. And the chat is talking amongst each other, so I shan't interrupt that. Just deciding where I want to cut next. It's all got to be cut, but I still want to. And here's an example of where I was rushing when I was tracing it onto there, because I was, I figured it might be boring for a live stream, but you see how this single line is the top of the bumper, but it's not consistently the same thickness or width above this detail, which is just rust or whatever. And I know it's just a cartoon character, so to speak, but little things like that eat at me, so I want to make that normal. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now since I brought it up. If I don't stay on the line, it is okay in this particular theme, because it is just a rustic old truck. But it never hurts to try to stay on the line, by golly. So anytime I find a pilot hole I missed, I'll add that to the count of how many cuts are in this project so far. We're at 2,212 cuts. I'm going to check the chat in case anybody's talking to me. Okay, yeah, still talking amongst each other, not a problem. Okay. And what I'm doing now, when I turn the piece, I told y'all earlier, but some people might just be joining, what I call a visual comfort. Even though this is just one simple line to do, I still like to cut towards myself on a somewhat straight line. I like to push the piece away from me, have the blade coming towards me, because if I was trying to do it like this and pull on it, you have less control and better odds of the upper arm and or blade covering up that line that you're trying to follow. So it's easier to control, and you'll often hear me use the words visual comfort. And I always bring that up because people said, well, I thought you could cut in any direction with a spiral. You can, but it's still a visual comfort thing. All right. Every now and then I got to stretch my back, so I hope y'all understand. I got to stretch my back and situate, and every now and then take a sip of Dr. Pepper, by golly. Here we go. And if I go off the line, it's not the end of the world. And I will be going off the line on part of this, like I've already described. But I'm getting this bigger portion of the cut done first, and I just start down that line a little bit to give me something to work off of, and then I go back to cutting out the larger part. Okay, now I am going to go off this line intentionally. Matter of fact, to better the odds, I'm going to go ahead and draw that line the way I want it, instead of the way it's got traced on there. That way y'all will see if I go off the line accidentally. It may come as an utter shock to some, but I am far from perfect. I'm going with this bottom darker line. There we go. It's just an old beat up bumper, but I do have my quirks. I scroll slow to begin with, but I scroll even slower when I'm trying to stay right on a line. I can't speak for other people, but for me, even a somewhat straight or a straight line is the hardest thing for me to do quickly with a spiral blade. Just speaking for me, I don't know what other people go through. But we made it. Nice. Just the little things. I very roughly drew in this oval as well, and I also decided I probably want to make it thicker, possibly. And again, I tend to change my mind back and forth live on the shows, because I always tell people what I'm thinking. But since I already drilled pilot holes in the waist areas, I don't have much room to play with. But I did rush when I was tracing that oval, so I got to make it a consistent line. But the method I do in using that requires the edge to be the shape I want it to be, and I still need to sand that. And forgive me when I stay silent, I'm looking at notifications that pop up in case they're important. But even then, I have trouble multitasking. I'm trying to get in the habit of keeping that on camera, but as much as I move around. Well, that didn't work real well, did it? Here we go. I have a little crane that comes from the ceiling of my shop, because I have a wooden floor on my shop and it vibrates. And if I had the camera on a tripod on the ground, the picture would be shaking quite a bit. And the reason why I'm not zoomed in closer is so that you can see the whole project to get an idea of what's being worked on where. I used to go in closer, but that messes with the autofocus more on the webcam. This piece is 19 3/8 wide by 18 1/4 tall, if anybody's wondering. But in talking about lines being a suggestion, this is probably one of the best patterns to show that, because of how rustic the truck is. It's okay to go off the line in a lot of areas. The only areas you really want to be careful is the mouth and the eyes, because those are his characteristic features. Aside from that, the only other thing would be the oval itself. Everything else, you probably don't have to be right on the line for it to look good. Tracy Keaton, I just got trifocals, and I had to go back to my old glasses for scrolling because I can't scroll with my new glasses on. Okay, no particular order on cutting. I'm just jumping around here. Also, I wanted to explain that the hook area is very, very brittle, so that's why I've left all that bulk wood around it, and I'll go back and fine tune that later. But since I'm still working on the rest of the piece, I didn't want to break that off while I was working on it. My teaching methods can be boring to some or confusing to some, but I always try to explain what thoughts I'm having and why I'm having those thoughts. So yeah, it works for some people. Whoops. It works for some people and not for others, but that's my method of teaching. So I hope the majority find it useful. If I can even help one or two, that'd be great. We'll see, Lee. If you feel like cutting now, then that's another reason I do these live streams. If it can inspire at least one person to cut, maybe not because it's me, but just cutting in general, by golly, go for it. Even if you want to do a live stream, I don't own YouTube, I don't own Facebook, and I don't own StreamYard, so do what you want to do, by golly. I shall not be upset. And if you're tempted, Lee, don't name any names in the chat. Every now and then when I do these live feeds, the first or second cut I do, I get a blade break, and that's always embarrassing. I intentionally went off that line because, again, I said that I rushed it when I was tracing it, but I also wanted to maintain the width between this cut and that cut. It was a little wavy the way I drew it, so I intentionally, I'll tell you if I go off the line unintentionally. I'm not perfect by any means. Mr. Jacob, JSG Woodworking, has showed up. Thank you for watching, Jacob. Appreciate you. Everybody else is talking about glasses and plans and this and that, so I'm going to let them do that. I really don't have, I keep saying I really don't have any rhyme or reason for except for when I vocalize my decision making. Right now I'm just jumping around different pieces of detail. I may wait till last to do the waist area of the oval because I need to sand to the line on that but that could be part of the live stream. I can bring my little 1-inch belt sander over here and smooth out the edges of that oval. And then I'll show you how I try to maintain the width of that oval when I'm hand drawing it. And this is a cut where it doesn't matter if I go off the line a little bit, because it's just a rustic shadow detail. Doesn't mean I want to go off the line, just saying I don't have to be as careful as other features on here. But once again, if anybody new has joined, I wanted to tell y'all, have a Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, whatever you celebrate. Even if you don't celebrate, I hope y'all stay safe and happy and comfortable. Holidays can be hard for some people. But I don't think we should only have that mindset on the holidays. We should keep it year round, but that's just me. Life's too short to have drama. If it's in your control, get rid of that drama around you, by golly. Legally. Mr. Herbert Hooper has joined on Facebook. Hello, Herbert. Anthony Campbell, how's it going, Charles? Merry Christmas. You too, sir. I appreciate it. That's over on YouTube. And Lee's still talking about insurance stuff. So I'm not going to publicize that because it doesn't do anything. Anyhow, excuse me. This may sound generic, but what are y'all doing for Christmas? I mean, most people probably say, going to my mom, going to my sister, you know, that kind of thing. I can't believe tomorrow's already Christmas Eve. So I believe tomorrow I will. Now, I say I'll be here daily, but tomorrow I might be here in the morning, but the evening I'll be at my parents'. Christmas Day, I don't know what's going to happen. I may very well could be here. I don't know. It all depends on what I can do. Trying not to eat too much, says Anthony Campbell. That's funny. I can hear my cell phone ringing, but I can't answer it because I'm doing a live feed. Hopefully it's not an important call. I almost always turn my ringer off on my phone, or any sound notifications, because I don't want it to interrupt. But if I ever leave my phone notification sound on, it's because I'm expecting something important. I will probably do another live feed later today. I do know that I have to get off before 5 p.m. my time because I have to get somewhere before it closes. But we still got plenty of time. But unless I fall asleep and don't wake up till midnight, then I will be doing a second live feed whenever this one ends. Just go to YouTube, make sure you subscribe, hit that bell to get notifications, and you won't miss it. Or watch my profile on Facebook for notifications, but the video quality is better on YouTube, I am told. Roger Beaver says hi from Kentucky. Howdy from Texas. Let me get over the comments. I missed a couple. Y'all are talking pretty quick. That's Tracy Keaton says, my husband and I are looking forward to the new year already. I'm looking forward to it, because it can only get better, I hope. Jacob says, spending Christmas Eve with my dad and family, and then Christmas Day, spend a day at home with the wife and kids. Sweet. Jeff, whoops. Man, there's a lot of comments. Lee Knighton's being awful chatty, so I keep losing my comments here. Okay, Jeff Robertson's talking about dental plans, so I'm not going to interrupt that. Roger Beaver's already read. Anthony Campbell says, Mater's awesome. My favorite character. He's my favorite character as well. And Lee, I'm not telling you not to chat. I'm just saying you're chatting a lot, so it takes me a while to get to all the comments. Anyway, yeah, he's my favorite character too. Mater, not Lee. All right. So y'all bear with me when I catch up on comments there. I don't want to neglect anybody. I never neglect anybody intentional unless it's not family friendly and I can't repeat it. Having trouble finding the stupid pilot hole, because that's how I roll. There it is. And the pilot hole is only stupid when I can't find it. Come on now, that's funny. I haven't watched Cars. I just know that Larry the Cable Guy does the voice, and I like Larry the Cable Guy. And I'm in Texas, and I'm an old hick, so this kind of works out, by golly. Get it done, I tell you what. Get it done. I actually have a Larry the Cable Guy pattern on woodenvisions.com. There's also a version that says get her done under it. By golly, come on now. Tim Carp says, Merry Christmas from the East Coast of North Carolina. Well, Merry Christmas from Gatesville, Texas as well. Even on holidays, if I'm home, I will do live feeds. I just never know right where I'll be when. But just watch for those notifications, and by golly, you won't miss a thing. Because not everybody gets to travel. Not everybody has plans. So that's why I'll do live feeds even on holidays if I'm able, because there again, if just one or two people are helped by it or at least entertained by it, then there you go. But I know that my sleep schedule is so sporadic. That's why I don't have set times for every live feed. That's why I'm glad there's notifications out there and that I can pre-schedule things. A lot of times it's on the fly. I'll say, you know what, let's do a live feed in 30 minutes. Let's do a live feed in an hour. So that's how I schedule them. Sometimes I got to do adulting in between. That can dictate scheduling as well. Adulting is not always fun, I tell you what. Anthony Campbell says, do you enlarge pilot holes on the back of the pattern or just go with what the drill leaves you? Yes, Anthony, that's generally what I do. I just go with what the drill leaves me, but I do prefer to use 1/16 inch drill bits, but I don't have one right now, and I keep forgetting to get one while I'm out. So this one, I believe, is a 1/32, so that's why it takes me a little longer to find the pilot holes, at least lately. I still have a 1/16 inch drill bit with me, but it's very dull and it blows out the back of the pattern, but I may go back to it, but it takes longer. And there seems to be a ongoing consensus about adulting sucks, so yay. I am 49 years old, but I'll be the first to tell you I don't act like it. When I need to, I do, but sometimes I don't. It's more fun to be goofy. Life's too short. I've never been one of those, I'm being random here, but I've never understood rude customers. Life's too short, and unless the business you're dealing with is being rude or something, there's no need to be a rude customer. If you have a new employee trying to learn the cash register, get over it. I mean, things ain't going to go quick. Sorry, I was just getting up on a soapbox here. And on that note, it's time for a sip of my energy drink. Yeah, Jeff, that seems to be a trend here lately with everybody. All right. Yeah, I think I may do the sanding of the edges of the oval live on the stream just to show you every part of the process I go through. Hopefully the camera will pick it all up. I have a bigger belt sander, but it's harder to control, but maybe I'll bring both of them over here and fine tune with the little bitty one and do the majority of the shaping with the big one because it doesn't flex. I lost my little 90-degree table that comes out from a disc sander that allows you to just push up against it. I don't have any of that, so it's by hand. Matter of fact, after I make this cut, we'll go ahead and work on that oval. I'll bring both of my sanders over here, and we'll do that. All right, let's get those belt sanders over here, and we'll shape the outside of it. And I will arrange the camera to catch that, hopefully. And I had to move the piece out of range of the camera so that I had space to put the sanders on this little table here. But I don't know that I can reach everything without unhooking from the headphones, so I'll be right back after I read the comments. Mark Morris says hi on Facebook. Hello, Mark. Tim Carp says, what size blade are you using today? I am using number 5 flat-ended spiral, sir. I will be right back. Let me go get my sanders right quick. That's a heavy sander. That's the big one there. Let me move that light up so it doesn't blind everybody. That's the big one, and let me grab the little one because I'll use that to do some stuff. Hopefully y'all can hear me. Right. I know it's not exciting, but I just want to show y'all every aspect here. This is the disc sander I was saying I don't have that little table for to keep everything square. I've had this sander and my little sander a long time. They're getting a little rickety, but money does not dictate getting new ones. So I got to find what plug I can unplug without killing the feed. So bear with me. I wasn't planning on doing the sanding on a live feed, is why I'm not prepared for it. But maybe the cord's long enough I can reach an actual outlet instead of an extension cord. There we go. Ow. All right, that's plugged in. Now I can't zoom in to do this because that's just the limitation. Ow, dang it. It's so hard not to cuss on these live streams. Okay, so basically all I'm going to do, well, I got to move my dang light out of the way. All I'm going to do is rock, of course my hands are going to be in the way. I'm going to just rock the piece on here to bring it down to the line. I'm trying to make this more camera friendly. Let me situate the dang camera. That light's still going to blind people, isn't it? Maybe I should just turn it off, genius. All right, so there's that. And we'll have the cord right in the way because that's special. There we go. I gouged myself with a piece of wood. I got wood a boo-boo. Anyway, move that out of the way so I don't bump anything. And of course the cord wants to jump back in the way because, you know, that's how it goes. But I'm just going to rock the piece like this. I can't show you all that close up because it's just impossible. But that's what I'm using the belt sander for, is to just smooth up to that line just to be consistent. And when I get to sensitive areas like this, that's when I'll use the 1-inch belt sander here shortly. Anthony Campbell wants to know what the cutting in the background is. That is Metallica, the original setup from when they first started. That is 3 feet wide by 2 feet tall, somewhere in there. It's big and bulky and heavy, is why I haven't continued it yet. Jeff Robinson says, I got to go to the Scroll Cave and put on my Scrollman apron and finish some Christmas presents. All right, appreciate you being here. Mr. Mike says, I tried adulting once. I didn't like it. I didn't either, by golly. Okay, now hopefully I can do. I'm sorry if I'm blocking y'all's view when I do this. Y'all are starting to get to see my face for once, but don't get excited because it ain't any prettier. Anyway, you're not going to get a whole lot of visual enjoyment out of this. I'm just showing you how I do it, but I got to do it to where I can see it. I need a new belt on there, but yeah, money. Okay. You don't want to keep it in. You want to keep a grip on it. You don't want to keep it in one place too long though, because you'll get a flat spot, and it keeps jumping. Might be easier to do this from the back because I'm sort of biased seeing the lines. Really, the key is just to get the waves out of the line. Stop hopping, booger. I'm trying to have a soft touch, but it's still jumping. I'm happy to say it didn't need much. There's a couple little spots that I have to get to with a 1-inch sander, like right in here, I can't get to with a gigantic sander like that. So I'll bring the 1-inch sander up here, but that's all it took to get a majority of that sanded down. Make sure I'm not missing any comments. No, we're caught up. All right. So unplug the big one and come back to the little one. If my shop wasn't upside down in a mess, I would have already had the plugs changed out, but I like obstacle courses apparently. This thing's heavier than I'll get out too. Get the little sander up here and I'll move the big one. All right. Oh, that's heavier than dog crud. I tell you what. Oh, diddly. Who needs steroids when you can lift sanders all day? Oh, good lordy. I like to sprain the hair there, I tell you what. Come on, that's funny. Oh, I got issues. Okay, that belt's a little smooth too, but oh well. And I don't have the little table for that either. So we're just going to use a little belt sander just to fine tune these little waves. And then we'll get right back into scrolling. Hopefully this cord is long enough. I am thoroughly embarrassed at how cluttered and messy this shop is, but it's no fun cleaning it, so I just deal. That plug is almost right out of reach, and I hate that. Get in there, you communist. I have to take the headphones off for a second because they're tethering me. Just a sec. Took way longer than it needed to, I tell you what. Alright, as you can see, I keep my shop very clean. Oh, sorry, Jamie. Well, in my defense, I wasn't even at the computer. Okay, I'm getting over there. Apparently Santa is joining us. Hello, Santa. Nice. Santa, do you have a UK accent?
No.
All right. Santa does not have a UK accent.
I can't see a thing.
Well, that was probably more entertaining to watch than what I've been doing.
Surprise!
How you doing over there? I had no idea, Santa.
Bet you didn't know that, did you?
You're kind of funny looking, Santa. What I'm doing, Jamie, in case you give her remote crap, is I'm smoothing the edges of the oval so that when I try to redraw it in here, it'll be consistent. Any waves in the line.
Gotcha.
And I tried doing that with a large sander, but around this area here, I have to use the little 1-inch sander. But I need new belts, but I don't have any, so we're just going to go with what we got.
That's exactly how I used to do it.
Really? Well, I used to have the little table that goes here or here, but I don't have it anymore. These are very old sanders. They work, but I don't have the little tables for them, which every now and then would be nice because of the trying to keep it square. So the sanding is going to be off from the line there. That's why I'm doing the sanding before I try to do the oval, because I need to redraw the oval in some spots.
Yeah.
Little more right there.
I'm not going to be able to stay for long, Charles, all right? Because I've got to have dinner and that yet.
I thought you loved me. Food is not important during a live feed. Dag nabbit.
You of all people know it is.
Yeah. No, Dr. Pepper's my thing. I actually don't eat much. And Anthony Campbell says, ho, ho, ho. Wayne the Woodturner says, hi, JP.
Hello, Wayne.
Hello. Hello, mate. Sorry. That's how I roll. Okay. Now, move that off to the side. Let's get back to scrolling. Well, no, actually, I'll show y'all how I do the when I'm trying to get the, well, I'm sitting here trying to show you something. The camera's not on it. I'm going to try to, since I drew this oval so sloppily and trying to get a probably a little bit thicker border, no, I'll just stick with the same thickness. I just got to set up my little compass thingy. I don't need no stinking table. Dave Gatton says, hi, Charles. Who is that funny talking guy here with you? That's some Brit guy I found on the side of the road. He looked pitiful, so I brought him on in here. Mr. Dave Gatton has joined us. If you don't mind, Jamie, just for the sake of visuals, I'm going to show people what I'm doing. But feel free to talk.
Who's joined?
Dave Gatton. He's
not
on.
Not
on the panel.
YouTube. No, he's not on YouTube. He's watching on Facebook.
Yeah, he's helped me with. Oh, yeah, that's what I meant.
So I just failed to acknowledge him. He's one of them people.
Yeah, he was the one that got me the particulars of StreamYard, and I bought me a little membership to StreamYard, and it's so far to me it's worth it. Trying to find my little thing I do. I may need to sand that line away so I'm not biased by it, because it can be confusing when trying to cut it. So y'all might have to deal with the noise of a belt sander. There wasn't enough noise. Not a belt sander, a palm sander. You know what I meant, dang nabbit.
Mm-hmm.
Dave Gatton says hi to you, by the way.
Hello, Mr. Gatton.
Hello. Oh, I know what I can unplug the saw to do.
What's up, DG?
DJ.
DG and CD.
Yeah, them's the one doing them. Apparently, we're the ones doing the thumbs downs, but we don't roll like that. But maybe we should all do a GoFundMe and buy a whole bunch of subscribers and views. That seems to be the trend if you're an idiot. All right, I'm gonna, sorry, well, I'm not really, am I? I'm just gonna, it's not gonna be exciting. I'm just softening the lines here so that when I redraw them for a thicker oval, because now the camera wants to pulsate. You know, Anyway, just take my word for it. When I redraw the lines, I don't want to get confused with the carbon paper lines, so that's why I'm sanding these lines a little softer. And CNC. Jacob says hi to you, but oh, sorry, you're watching. Never mind. So I apologize if this gets noisy. I'm not getting rid of the lines, I'm just softening them because there's no reason to get rid of them. I can sand later to get rid of them.
He's a dentist.
He's a what?
A dentist.
Ah. Now the only drawback to me getting rid of this oval is I already had the pilot holes drilled, but I can fill those in with putty. They're not that big. But this piece is 19 3/8 wide by 18 1/4 tall. All right. That's the noisy part besides my voice. Now, we will redraw the oval. Whatever. Rick Hutchinson, Dave, you need to show cutting one of these patterns on the CNC. By God, I thought Rick was going to dig me, but he just got here, so give him time. Welcome back, Rick.
What's going on, Rick?
What's going on? He used to be a regular on Lee's show. Lee Knight.
Regular or irregular?
Well, a little of both, but he used to be on there quite frequently. Either life got in the way or higher priorities, or, you know, only Rick knows. I'm just going to bump everything. Okay. So this part I always do on the edge of the table. I'm probably going to have to dial this in, but this is what I use to try to maintain the width of that oval. I ride the piece just above that little hump right there, and then have the pencil. Let me try to show you if I can coordinate my camera skills, which I have very little. Okay, I'm just going to be generic here. I'm not going to do the actual process yet. Come on, get in the camera, Charlie. Idiot, move the camera up. You're so dang smart, I tell you what. What we're going to do, right? I'm going to ride that thing on the edge of this with the pencil down there. So that's just to show you side view of what I'm about to be doing. But I got to dial it in where I want it first, because that's way too thick or too wide. Y'all are being too quiet.
That's what Charlie said.
Bite it. Well, part of the reason I gotta push that pencil in there further, because it done shrunk.
It done shrunk.
Apparently using a pencil makes it get shorter. That's just weird. I'm gonna tell you what, by God.
Only if you sharpen it.
It's not, no, I gotta practically have the whole pencil sticking out. Well, I know, yeah, sharpening. And I know the stupid.
Anthony Campbell would like to know, do you use rapid resizer to scale your patterns up?
Yes, sir, I do. When I draw them, I scan them in at 300 dpi, so that if you do enlarge them, they don't distort, except from some of my older patterns. But yeah, that's exactly what I use, sir. Hard having trouble. I might need a full-size pencil in this puppy. Let me get this stupid thing dialed in, because I'm organized as heck, I tell you what. Now I have the pencil in there too far, because there.
You need more lead in your pencil.
You're a funny fella right there, I tell you what. I need more pencil in my pencil. Oh, the possibilities. I know. The temptation is great. Funny you are.
Mm.
All right. That looks like a good width for the oval. So, let me tighten that up. That's what Charlie said. I hate when that stupid camera pulsates. Okay, I'm gonna try to do this all in one fell swoop, but we shall see how it goes. Nice, nice. Look how beauty-mous that comes out. And that's making the oval be consistent in the width from the edge. That's why I sanded the edge first, because if there was a wave in the edge, it would have put a wave in the oval.
You would have seen it.
Yep. Obviously,
Yep.
I can't get it there because the hook being in the way, so I'll have to hand draw that, which is horrible. Anyway, so still got a little bit of a wave in there, but I'll compensate.
Jeff Robinson says, Charles, if you get any Christmas money, you need to take a look at the Triton variable speed belt sander. It's slow enough to be used for sanding your scroll saw projects, resizes, and JP approved.
JP approved. All right. Well, if JP approved, I gotta research because he likes to guide me wrong sometimes. Just kidding. Well, at the risk of sounding pathetic, financial priorities will probably put that back a ways, but I appreciate that advice. I got to push the pencil through a little bit.
The man needs Dr. Pepper.
Oh no, we're a little higher priority than Dr. Pepper, as strange as that sounds.
Maple Tree Studios is out in the chat.
Yeah, I've heard about it. Isn't he Irish?
Yeah, something like that.
That's funny right there. Mr. Dale Kirkwood, folks, Maple Tree Studios does live streams on Sunday in the UK, 9 a.m. Central U.S. time. All right. So
he's got one coming up tomorrow, not today, which I thought I missed.
Well, I thought he was having it Sunday.
He's got one coming up tomorrow as well.
Well, he done changed things up on me.
Dale says, Californian, so I am.
Californians I am. He's trying to get me to do the Yoda voice is what it is. Okay, what I'm trying to visualize here right now, of course, it's the one thing that's out of view of the camera. Since I had to stop with the thingy, I'm trying to visualize this line consistently. So how I will do that is, let me get something else to write with. I will make a pen mark from where the tip of that lead, even though the lead will go down a little bit, from the tip of the lead to the edge of the oval. That'll tell me what thickness I'm looking for. There's probably an easier way, but I always choose the hard way. Come on now. Oh, that didn't help because it's right there on the dang wooden part. Come on. Really? I'm trying to write with you here. You're embarrassing me. So apparently I'll just drag the pencil. Screw it. I'm trying to keep the width of the oval consistent in this area that I couldn't drag that thing on. But I guess I'll just rough it in, by golly.
Right, I've just been called for dinner, mate. So
all right, well, I appreciate you being here.
Shoot off. Yeah, I'll probably be back a bit later on. All right.
All right, I appreciate it. If I'm still here, you can welcome jump right back in, mister.
Will do. Speak to you in a bit.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right. Always appreciate Jamie stopping by. I'm redrawing. This is going to be different from my original pattern because I'm making changes to the thickness of the oval. Therefore, altering where the hook goes into the oval. And hopefully I can consistently have the oval the same width here in this area. I got some pilot holes in that area. I'll just have to putty them over. So there's that. I know it wasn't highly impressive, but even though the camera's pulsating, I just redrew the oval to make it thicker. So let me get the camera reset up and we will get back to scrolling, by God. I'll let Dale in only if he wants to be in here. Yeah, I always try to get Dale in here, but a lot of times when I ask, he's in the middle of something, so I didn't want to assume anything. But Dale, if you want to come on in here, by golly. Yeah, it's messing with my head too, so I need to get it moved back down to normal. I hate it when it does that. And it's going to keep doing it. No, maybe not. Okay, let me get this in the picture, and we'll just move our hand around, and hopefully it stops that waving. No, it doesn't. Oh, I'm really starting to like this camera less and less, but let me get sat down, and then I'll figure something out with that. As I get to cutting, I will adjust all that and put my light back on over here. That's just fun when that kind of crap happens. Okay, now I have no problem letting Dale in here if he wants to be in here, but unless I hear the otherwise, I will just continue. But so let me grab the blade again. I'll keep glancing over, Jeff. I mean, Dale, if you want in here, let me know. If not, I understand, and that's fine. I'll make a couple cuts and just glance over every now and then. Would love to, Charles. I'm in my workshop trying to get my endoscope working. All right, not a problem, Dale. Good luck with whatever you're doing there, mister. And I don't have to re-drill this pilot hole because it's right by the line. Excuse me. I do have to re-drill a couple others, but those can wait. All right, so we're just going to get back to scrolling, folks. 19 3/8 wide by 18 1/4. That is in inches, not centimeters. It would be much smaller in centimeters. I haven't used centimeters since elementary school. I don't. Without it being labeled, I couldn't tell you a centimeter from a hooter meter. Hooter meter is a whole nother thing, but all right. You know you want to go there, Wayne. Sorry about the camera thing, Jacob. I don't know how to avoid that. Just I can't make it deal with whatever I'm showing on the camera. Those sound effects were Dr. Pepper. All right, so we're going to get back going on this. Ooh. From here on out, there will be no rhyme or reason as to where I cut, except for when we get to the oval, which technically I could do now if I wanted to. So I might just do that to make it pop. What do y'all think? I hear you if you're talking about that pulsating. I freaking hate when it does that. Ugh. I think that's it trying to autofocus, but it only does it sometimes, so I don't know what the deal is because I'm not smart enough to figure it out. I'm not an idiot. I just stuff like that. Anyway, now let me go ahead and just do the oval. Make it exciting. I do have how many? Just one pilot hole to re-drill. So I can go ahead and do that now since it's just one pilot hole. Because when I redrew the oval, it got the pilot hole inside of the oval instead of inside the waist area, because I had to change things because I wasn't content with the way they were. I'm so dang tangled up here you wouldn't even believe. Well, you probably would believe. All right. Drill the pilot hole and then we'll be back in business unless I missed another pilot hole. And I always drill one at each end of an oval line because I don't know which one will be more visually comfortable for me. And I can just putty over those old pilot holes. They weren't too far off. All right, so that's done. Well, no, it's not, because I'm going to do one at both ends of every area where I drew the oval. Only some of them are available. That one's right on the line. Huh. Oh, well. Waste problems to have over here. All right. Mr. Jacob is over there in Utah, I believe. Both my brain cells seem to recall that. That's in case anybody wants to go stalk him. Jacob, give me your address so that I can stalk you. I did not redraw the oval in these other areas, so I got to redraw them there. Not by much. So I do have one more pilot hole to drill. That's just lovely. Oh, then we're going to get back to appear to be organized, I tell you what. Where was that other pilot hole? There it was. I wonder if I might have gotten a different thickness over there, but oh well. At this point, I'm not altering it any further. Who needs disorganization? Or whatever the word is. Yep, Utah. By golly. I usually only remember details of pretty girls, but apparently I'm just getting older and trying to be equal attentive to everybody. I'm an idiot. Okay. And of course, my stool wants to lower itself automatically because that's how it rolls. Okay. Going to go ahead and do this oval, do the scary part. I use the word scary because you have to stay right on that line to keep the shape. But of course, if we go off, we can shave it, but this may not go real quickly. I know that comes as a shock to a lot of you that think I'm a speed scroller. Not. I'm most definitely not a speed scroller. And I don't mind that. So anybody that gives me crap about it and kiss on my hind end, I tell you what, and that's my foul language for the day. Actually, Wayne, scroll sawing isn't complicated. I just make it look complicated. And that was probably a polite dig on me, so I get that. Nobody's ever given me crap before on these live feeds. It's so strange, such a strange experience. Did I mention I love Dr. Pepper? Just throwing that out there. Yummy, yummy, yummy. Bad for my tummy, but it's still good. Okay, if y'all can have your beer and whiskey, I'm going to have my Dr. Pepper, by God. Yes, I am stalling because once I get going, I don't want to stop. Flick me the link. Oh, Lord. That can be troublesome. I'm just kidding. Control C. Oh, it wasn't a dig? I'm sorry for accusing you of that, Wayne. I make it sound more complicated than it is. But that being said, which parts are complicated? And maybe I can help. Because I do have a tendency to make things sound more complicated than they are. Come on, come on. I'm trying to navigate Messenger here on a laptop. My mouse broke. So all I have is the little stupid sliding finger pad. I don't like that at all. Alright, Dale, you should have it. I'm going to turn off Facebook so I don't have to multitask. Oh, it's, well, my designs are complicated because I like detail, but unless you're referring to the whole process, I don't know. But alright, I believe Dale has the link now, so before I start scrolling, I will let him in here. There he is. He's sitting there with his little Scottish hat on. It is so cute. Hello. How are you? You can talk.
What the hell is that accent? What
I,
the hell was that accent you
I,
were spitting out?
I never know what accent's going to come out of my mouth.
My word. What was that?
My word.
Oh no. Wayne wouldn't have been having a dig at all, sir. Wayne's got a fantastic sense of humor, and is a demigod in the wood turning world. I feel that it was much more of an appreciation
For what?
than a dig.
Yeah, and in text you can't tell unless they write LOL. But
Yeah.
I get what you're saying, Wayne. That being said, Wayne, when you get a scroll saw pattern, when I draw them on the wood, there's nothing shaded in. But on a scroll saw pattern, unless it says cut out the white, the areas that you'll be cutting out will be shaded in, so there's never any guesswork where to cut, if that helps any at all as far as lowering the complication. Mr. Dale Kirkwood is Maple Tree Studios. That is plural, Maple Tree Studios. So, Dale, if you want to plug your show and your channels and social media, go on for it.
Yeah, so you can find me on Facebook, on the YouTubes, on the Instagrams, or is that the Facegrams and Instabooks? Just look for Maple Tree Studios. Just look for Maple Tree Studios. That's all good. We normally do a lot, or we're trying to get into the habit of doing a live on a Sunday at 3 p.m. UK time. That's kind of 9 a.m. ish Eastern. We're doing a special tomorrow. We were cutting an alien, funnily enough, an alien requested by Wayne the Woodturner. We're doing that live. Should be quite interesting. Bit of fun. So please, if you're not busy, pop your head around the door and have a look, see what we're up to.
Oh, God. And you're welcome, Wayne. And thank you for being here, Dale, as usual. He and I together are 2/5.
2 of the 5, yeah.
2 of the 5 of the up and coming, right around the beginning of the year. We're still got to do one last hangout to nail out the details, but I can tell you. Oh, why don't I say what I was going to say first? We're going to do a show called Team Scroll Saw. It's not just going to be a show; it's going to be the beginning of something we hope to be big. We want to make the scroll saw a more noticed and relevant tool in the community and in the world. This is not U.S. specific. It's not UK specific. It's anybody watching. And it's not about us. It's about the community. We just happen to be the ones hosting it. And it's not only aimed at beginners or seasoned veterans. It's aimed for everybody. So we, as with anything, we will look at feedback, because the views count, because we don't know everything. I know most of it. I'm just kidding. Yeah, I love Dale's faces there when I'm saying all this. But yeah, we're excited about it. It's going to be Wes Balco when he can be here because of work and children on weekends. It will be Saturdays at 9 p.m.
We're going to have to work that out because
I thought we did work it out.
Yeah, so we were having a chat. So it's going to be on a Saturday. We're working on the time. We're trying to catch it so we can get the Europe and the UK and the US kind of in the same time slot. And we're just kind of working out what works for everyone.
And what we have talked about is 3 p.m. Central U.S. time, and that would equate to 9 p.m. UK time. That could change, but tentatively, that's what we've discussed. I thought we had all.
I think we're pretty much on the same page. It's just, it was just one of those. I've missed that staff meeting, obviously.
You were here. It just we're so unorganized. No, you may not have been here because. No,
I was at work. I was at work today. That looks like that went past in the chat.
No,
it's all good.
That
Saturdays.
That was the day I slept on the floor. Remember? Anyway, yeah. These things tend to be pretty long, so I get it. But it will be on Saturdays. We'll nail down the time. It could be 3 p.m. U.S. time, 2 p.m., 1 p.m. And their UK and other European countries are 6 hours ahead of us, if not more. So we will try to balance it out for everybody to have better odds of watching. But so y'all be watching for Team Scroll Saw, by God. There is a Facebook group called Team Scroll Saw that is all one word. So y'all be on the lookout for that on all of our channels. It's not channel specific that I'm aware of, but we'll iron out all those details.
So out in the chat, I think we have Lee from Scrollers Chat, and back again.
I don't know if he's. Has he talked?
Yeah, he just said hi. And out in the and Charles and Wayne says, "No, Charles wasn't a dig. It just looks complicated. Being a woodturner, all looks complicated, especially where to cut." Funnily enough, even being a woodturner, I love watching people who work on the scroll saw. And Wayne says, "Dale, I thought the Jaffa Cake was a screensaver. No, this is a real thing here. We rescued that. It's a modern art. We might do a series of them."
Nice in 3D. That comes right out at you. Kind of makes me want to eat it. I don't think I've ever had a Jaffa Cake. Is there a U.S. equivalent?
There's definitely there's a bit of in the maker community, there's a bit of a Marmite moment. Depends who you talk to.
Is there a U.S. equivalent to a Jaffa Cake?
No, sir. I think there's only one place in the world you can get them, which is really McVitie's. I think you can get them in the US if you order them, kind of thing. But yeah, we'll sort you out. Let me leave that with me. I'll sort you out with some stuff. Send them over, kind of thing.
I appreciate that.
I'll sort you out, nudge, nudge, kind of thing.
No problem. I don't always comprehend things the way I should. Jeff Robinson says using a Pegasus number 3 super skip tooth to cut out some 3/8" stars. All right, appreciate you, Dale. Cool. If you don't mind, I'm gonna hog the camera and get back going on it. Much obliged. And if you're watching on Facebook, I am told the video quality is usually better on YouTube. I go by Charles Deering Scroll, or you can just find me under Charles Deering on YouTube. Please hit that bell and to be notified, and subscribe wouldn't hurt. Thumbs ups and thumbs downs are up to you. They don't affect, monetization or anything like that. But, obviously your opinion is valued. So, and if you're on YouTube and want to connect on Facebook, even just for personal reasons, for hanging out and talking and whatever, the Charles Deering on Facebook. All one word. And take one last swig of Dr. Pepper, and then we're going to get scrolling again. And you will be hearing Dale talk in the background, either just talking or responding to comments and questions, or whatever the case may be. He might even start singing.
No, there's no danger of that. I haven't had enough beer yet. We're just on number one. We're just on number one sort of thing. There's no danger of the scroll saw equivalent of The Voice or X Factor.
It's like 8 p.m. It's almost 8 p.m. your time, isn't it?
I think it's later than that. I think we're closing in on 9. Yeah,
okay.
It's 8:37.
Okay. 2:37 p.m. here in Texas. I do have to end the feed before 5 p.m. my time because I got to get somewhere before it closes.
I need to bail around 25 minutes, sir. I've got a couple other bits I need to do.
All righty then. You got a couple other bits to do. I don't know why I did that in the Middle East.
You sound like Julian from the thing from Madagascar. I don't know what it's called. King Julian from Madagascar. That's what you sounded like there.
I got all kinds of voices. I never pre-plan them. That's why I'm so ignorant. Or no, I'm gonna say funny, not ignorant. I try to be goofy. My goofiness is intentional. Whether or not it's good for me, I don't know. But I never know what voice is going to come out of me because I'm just that random.
Oh.
So I am going to start scrolling again. Okay.
You definitely sound like the thing from Madagascar. Right, go for it.
All right, here we go, man.
Right, let's have Meta's voice while you're cutting Meta. That's the one I home in on.
Get it done. We're gonna do this hair truck.
That's really good.
So that wasn't an 8 out of 10. I got a 10.
That was definitely 9.5. What does the chat think? So, Charles's Mater voice. What is it? What do you reckon? Do you think it sounds like him?
I haven't watched The Voice. I just know Larry the Cable Guy, the voice of the character, but I don't know what he says in the movie to imitate actual Mater.
You watch the movie then, sir.
Sorry. Well, I do have Disney Plus, so I guess I could.
You could indeed. Where are you with The Mandalorian? Did you watch the most recent episode?
Yes, sir.
That was very good.
I believe episode 7 is the most recent, correct?
Yeah, yes, sir. That was very good. I quite like that.
I think the next one is on the 27th.
Has that look of that scene from Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid a little bit. I'm sure it's not an accident.
I guess I'm not sure which part you're talking about.
Right at the end of episode 7, where they're all holed up inside the cantina, and the stormtroopers are outside.
Oh yeah, that is kind of like Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid.
Go ahead. Would you? I think Wayne the Woodturner says, Charles, I would love to hear you try Max. I think there's a challenge there. Can I flick Wayne the link?
If you'd like to, I was about to say I've never heard Wayne's accent.
Wayne, would you like to drop in?
But I'll tell you now,
think
if your
my
accent is Scottish, I won't be able to do it.
No. I think this will be a surprise.
Where is he from? South Africa?
If Wayne says yes, we'll let him. He's from the UK. Let's just say that.
Oh Lord.
You know.
I have a
You've got
generic
12 in the
UK
chat.
voice.
You've got 12 in the chat. Let me flick over the link to.
Okay.
and we'll get this
Jamie
shown.
says my UK voice sounds too posh.
It depends which one you're doing. I must confess. I feel that sometimes it sounds like you're being very posh, and other times it sounds like you're taking a piss.
Well, I'm not sure how to take that, but I'll take it. There's no guarantees there, Wayne, because I don't always get it right on the first try or eighth try.
Wayne, the links in the chat for you in Facebook. If you want to grab it and pop in, that would be great.
But I can tell y'all now, Russian, Irish, and Scottish, I cannot imitate. I don't know why.
You're Canadian then, and you're pretty close to it.
You want to get in my car?
See, that sounds very New Yorkan to me.
That's
Maybe it's
more.
just my lack of.
Well, New York is over here like this, all right?
No clue. I mean, a few occasions I've been in New York. Actually, I was thinking about it. I've been in New York quite a bit.
You want I should scroll for you?
Yeah, something like that. That's closer. Yep. I'll drop in. It's very salty, yeah. Very salty. Okay. Wayne's backstage.
Oh Lord, I'm afraid of this. There's there's different levels in New York. You got New York and you got Boston.
Yeah, Boston's definitely like that. Yep.
How you doing over here, Wayne?
Hey Charles, how's it going?
That's got a Scottish
Evening,
Irish
Dale.
backtone.
Mr. Wayne, how are you?
Oh, I'm well, thanks. I'm well, very well.
There is a rule in Charles's channel. You've kind of got to have a beard to get on. You're all right.
The reason why I'm being so quiet is I'm trying to study your voice because you wanted me to imitate it. Okay.
Oh, you'll never do that, man.
You'll never do that, man.
No,
Wait,
you
I
said
rolled
you
it too
do.
much. Well, I'm getting there. Welcome to the Charlie Impression Show.
Scroll song impressions. You know, I mean, he's here all week, folks. Tell your friends.
I got to hear him talk more before I can dial it in, and even then I might butcher it.
Well, I'm not very sure whether to keep the mild accent on or go really broad.
Oh, full on.
I'm
Full
not
on,
really
sir.
sure to keep the mild accent on or to go really.
Nope.
Can't think.
No.
I don't know what to do.
You still sound like that King Julian from Madagascar. that's got to be your next pattern, man. That's got to get King Julian from Madagascar.
That is being a very big difference between what I was doing and what I am doing now. Okay.
Okay, that's pretty big. That's
No,
That definitely has more of a.
that
That
was
sounds
nowhere
Welsh.
near where I come from, man.
That sounds like you're being Welsh there, Charles.
Okay, you got me. I don't know if I can do that. Well, we haven't had enough funny accents on here, so I'm going to go back to scrolling. But
Right,
appreciate you being here, Wayne, and y'all just talk, but you might have to retype it in the chat for people that can't understand what the heck you're
Cool. Cool. Yeah, we do subtitles. I think we can do subtitles automatically on this. Like, no, you can't. You've not got it set up. One for another time.
Yeah,
No. The subtitles wouldn't understand us anyway, man.
wouldn't understand this anyway, man. Yeah, I am too close to that, Julian, ain't I? Yeah.
You are. I mean, that's got to be your next pattern, Charles. It's got to be you've got to do a King Julian.
I'd have to investigate it because I have no idea who that is.
Oh, have a look. You better just look, King Julian. I like to move it, and you'll enjoy it. I think it'll be it'll be good. I've not actually seen any.
Madagascar, the kids movie.
It's a kids movie, yeah. JSG, Dale, are you going to share that Joker pattern that you did a bit back? JSG, I did indeed. I published it, I think, in Team Scrollsaw. I think you can go in there and pick it up. Hi, Herb.
Herb Gregory.
Hi, Herb. Anthony.
Hooper,
And
I
people
mean.
laugh at my country accent. Anthony, where are you from? Scholar Chat no show this week because of the holiday. That's a shame, Lee. I quite enjoy Scholars Chat. 14 in the chat. 14 in the chat. Watching. 11 thumbs up.
Wait. Now I'm being real picky on this oval because I don't want it to be wavy, so that's why you keep seeing me go back.
One of the things about the spiral blades I quite like is they do tend to they are quite good at sanding their own path as they're going through it. It really cuts it down.
Every now and then, I mean, you've heard me talk about the mojo.
Mm.
Like if you see me going smooth and not going back and fixing little waves, that's the mojo. That's me staying on the line right where I want to be, or just to the side of it I want to be.
That's
And
one with the saw, young Skywalker.
yeah,
You should do that in your dad accent. That would work better coming from you. Anthony Campbell said, Anthony Campbell says Louisiana about 4 hours west of Charles. Well, that's
I'm going to tell you what, that's a
country,
Cajun accent. I jumped right in back into something, Julian, but
yeah.
I'm going to tell you what. Let me tell you what. That's some.
That all sounds like King Julian, mate. You have got to watch Madagascar.
Okay, but I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you what.
No worries, Wayne.
Just on Wilson from.
Wayne's going to drop out just now, kind of thing. He popped in to say hi. I'll have to leave soon too, Charles. I've got another commitment, but that's okay. Look up King Julian. Anyway, folks out in the chat, does everyone know who I'm talking about when I say King Julian from Madagascar?
I mean, I know that's a kids movie, but I've never seen it, and I've never heard about it.
Get it. There'll be some YouTube stuff out there. You'll see exactly what I'm talking about.
Now I might make a pattern of it, but I don't know if it'd be popular enough to do a cutting of it.
I reckon so. Madagascar
well, in being fair to the viewers, I held up a bunch of patterns yesterday, and people chose popularity, so I got to do those before I can do.
That's the way you got to do it. GSG says, "Yep, he knows."
I don't. Well, then ask Jacob. But does he agree that I sound like King Julian? Because I don't know what the heck the guy sounds like.
Do you think he sounds like King Julian from Madagascar when he does that voice? You know, what do we think?
You just never know what you're gonna get on this here show.
Oh, it's just a good. It's one to maximize and run with. So
get her done, you must.
JSG says you do sound like him a bit.
Oh dear. What have I started? What have I done?
Sounds just like him. It's incredible.
I meant to do that.
The best way to learn a good Scottish accent is to use the B word a lot. In fact, watch Robin Williams' skit on the invention of golf, the Scottish invention of golf. Go on to YouTube, find Robin Williams golf sketch. It's hilarious. It's a good way to perfect the accent because he's nailed it.
Yeah, I don't know why some accents I can pick right up. Other ones like Russian, Scottish, and Irish, I just have trouble with. And anybody, please know that if I do like the Middle Eastern accent and this and that, I'm not racist. I just like to imitate dialects, stuff like that. I'm not making fun of anybody. Sometimes they use the stereotypes to talk in those languages, but it's not personal.
There was Whoopi Goldberg once went over to Scotland and said, you haven't lived until you've heard. This is her words. She says, you haven't lived until you've heard a black Scotsman. She gets off the plane and encounters her first one at some point after getting off the plane, and she comes full American at hey, what's happening, man, and all this. And the guy turns around and says, who are you talking to? In this deep Scottish accent. She said, this 6'3" guy kind of thing sounds like he's, it sounds like he's from Braveheart kind of thing. She says, it blew me away. Stopped me in my tracks.
I don't know where I heard this, and it may be way off, but I think somehow I'm distantly related to William Wallace.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Depending on who you're talking to, William Wallace was either a hero or a terrorist.
Yeah, I was about to say, I've heard both sides. Then,
Good
I don't know
afternoon,
where I
gents.
heard that.
Looking good, says Hooser Mike.
Thank you, mister. Okay, I'm about to stop here for a second because to remind folks that I told y'all I sometimes make design changes on the fly, and also the fact that I rushed this when I was tracing it. Let me get a little closer here. Y'all can see the roof of the cab is a little wavy. That's because I was rushing when I drew it in. And another area I'm going to fix is this is very narrow of a piece, so I'm going to make that area wider. On the I had my hand in the way. The outside of the mirror, I want it to be a thicker piece of wood.
I do the same. I do the same thing when I'm cutting. Occasionally, I'll just look at it and go, "No, that needs to be wider."
Yeah, that's to let folks know. Also, you're not limited to what you see. If you want to make an area wider so it's not as fragile, then by God, go with it.
I agree, 100%.
I've never heard you try to do any accents. I've never heard of Scott try to do like.
So I tend not to. I'm very crap at it. I'm just delighted when people can understand me. So why bother messing it up with something else?
Well, someday we're gonna get you talking just like this in people's room. I can't believe you're from Scotland. You know what I mean?
No, that will never happen. I'll wind up sounding like Scotty from Star Trek.
She can't take any more, Captain.
Just like that, kind of thing. A combination of King Julian and a Scotsman from Star Trek.
I guess I butchered that one too. I can't believe you're telling me this.
Oh, now you're on to the 8 out of 10 for Mr. Shatner.
Well, the pain, the misery. I just can't seem to get the voice down.
Watch him in T.J. Hooker. He was quite good in T.J. Hooker.
I never thought he was much of an actor. I mean, God love him, but I just thought he overacted too much on Star Trek, so I lost.
Yeah, but
even as a kid,
he's what was I going to say? He is the character. It's like Arnold Schwarzenegger is Arnold Schwarzenegger, and if that makes sense, it's like it's William Shatner is William Shatner, and whatever that is he's doing, he's out of him. Wayne says that William Wallace was both the terrorist and the hero. And then he says Dale has lost most of his accent. So if you think I have an accent, you should really have heard me when I kicked off.
Heard me.
Nearly. If you want the thing to do is try and say Edinburgh.
Edinburgh.
Right. When you say it written down, most folks from the US will say Edinburgh. But Edinburgh.
Normally, yes, but I was trying to copy your accent.
Drag your jaw down as if it's coming into your chest when you say butter.
Edinburgh.
There you go. Yeah, that's really close. That was good. It was very good.
Edinburgh.
No, there see, we're kind of King Julian and then Scottish.
Why can I not get it? I do not understand. But I can do Arnold Schwarzenegger. Get on the plane, give me your hand, okay?
Cool. Yes.
California.
Uzi 9mm, that's all I remember that guy said.
I can do these.
You were saying as you go around the roof, are you going to thicken it out?
No, I'm just going to, it's a little wavy. I'm just going to smooth it out. So I'll draw it first and then follow that line. You're trying to get me back on topic. What you doing?
I am indeed. This is plain. I mean, there's no subtlety to this at all.
Subtle as a jackhammer. Oh, this live stream was about scrolling? I had totally forgot.
Yeah, it's every now and again. I'll pull you back to the center, sir.
Oh, back to reality.
Oh, sorry. Help me here.
Work with me over here. There's no waving that line, I tell you what. No, I don't know what
I do exactly the same thing as you're doing whenever I'm there. I think I was cutting the one on Sunday when I was doing Pinky and the Brain. There was just 2 bits on that. I took one look at them and thought, there is no way you're going to stay intact. as
Oh
I come
yeah,
back
you were
here.
saying it was so thin because of the
Yeah,
stuff you were cutting it.
yeah. Just I made that change on the hoof as you do.
On the fly is what we say here in the U.S. because we talk normal. Just kidding, just kidding.
You know, it's a case of I mean, I can always say the big difference is I mean, what Americans fundamentally, it's quite interesting. You cut down the amount of letters and words, kind of thing, but then you add so many words into a sentence. It's just incredible.
You got me on that one. I can't defend you. Defend
Yeah.
it.
Where did the U go with the color? I mean, what's going on there, guys?
What was the question?
Where was the U that went out of color? I mean, what was going on there, guys?
I don't know. Oh,
Yeah,
color.
yeah.
The UK has RE instead of ER on a lot of things. All right, let's do this. Wait,
Cool.
I got to straighten the line right here. I just saw one that is sloppy. Where's my dang ruler? Where the? Okay, somebody done stole my ruler. Well, I'll just use a straight edge. Same thing.
The camera's much better tonight, to be fair. It's
Oh,
much
thank you.
clearer. It's got less. I mean, obviously, I mean, wherever she's playing tonight is less aggressive.
She's not. It's not nighttime here. That's why there's no interference. She's still at work.
Jolly good.
She won't be home until 6:15ish my time, and I will have to stop the live feed by then. But I will be back tonight. I just have to get somewhere before it closes. All right, straighten out that line.
Cool.
These lines I do that come from the inside and outside the oval, I go part way in, almost to the edge, just to give it that three-dimensional look if you choose to stain or paint the oval. And I just realized I wasn't even in the camera for a lot of that. So
Charles, I'm going to have to bail out very, very, very soon. It's been a pleasure as always. I'll try and head back when I get a few moments later on. But keep scroll on, sir.
Scroll on, buddy. I appreciate you being here, and by golly, thank you for trying to teach me other things.
No. Look up King Julian. Someone in the chat, make sure he looks up King Julian. Lee, make sure he looks up King Julian from Madagascar. Boys, girls, Charles, thank you so much for letting me into the chat. I'll catch up with all you guys later. Bye.
Glad. Scroll on, baby. All right, folks, bear with me. I'm going to. Sorry, I got distracted. I'm going to get back to this. The comments went away, so I had to adjust that. Okay, so I'm just going to do this line here, down to here, and then this majority of the oval will be gone up there, and then we'll try to do the rest of it. Try. All right, come on now. I'm trying to get my hands in a comfortable spot so I can cut it without having to move more than necessary. And I'm aware that all these weird accents I do are weird, but it's just the humor side of me. It may not work for everybody. But I'd like to think a majority of viewers, if not all of them, have a sense of humor, or they wouldn't be here. Anytime you see me going back and forth, if you're just joining us, because I'm shaving the line with the spiral blade. And since I have to do a straight line now, I'm going to turn the piece for that visual comfort I talk about. Okay. Yeah, it's always nice when you can take a majority of the background out because it makes a difference. It makes the piece pop out a little more, at least even just for the visuals of these live feeds. Let me get in closer and more appealing. We're going to get there, I swear, somehow, some way. A lot of times I am a lot pickier than I need to be on lines, but it's just how I roll. But again, it is an old beat up rustic truck, so it doesn't have to be perfect, but I still try. So let me turn it around where y'all can see it normal like. Normal like. Sure talk, buddy. And we will get back going after I show this. That is Mr. Miter with part of the background cut out. We're going to get back to it if I can get the stupid camera to cooperate. Now I'm going to save this waste piece. This is a sanding tip. Because I use a palm sander to sand off all these carbon paper lines. But the reason why you want to save waste piece around brittle areas is to give the palm sander or orbital sander, whatever you call it, more of a broad surface to follow. So if I'm trying to sand that mirror where it's a little bit brittle, it has less of a chance of vibrating out and breaking off with that waste piece in there, because if I took this out, it has more room to break and fall out. So that's why we save these big, whatchamacallit. I hope everything's well, Herbert. Or Herbert. Sorry. Hopefully, good Lord. Hopefully everything is well, and it's okay that you missed the first half. You just missed mainly babbling and me trying to talk funny. I know that comes strange, but appreciate you being here. This piece is 19 3/8 wide by 18 1/4 tall in inches. And I appreciate everybody that takes time out of your day to come watch. I do have to leave within the next 2 hours so I can get somewhere before it closes. Let's go ahead and do the rest of these ovals. Now this tire here, I drew it kind of sloppy, so I may go off the line there trying to keep it round. When I accidentally go off the line, I'll tell you that, but I'll also tell you when I'm purposely going off the line. All right, so let's go ahead and get this part of the oval done, and we'll do the other part of the oval, and then the rest of it will just be Mr. Miter. And I have one pilot hole and I can't find it. That's just special. There we go. Actually, probably what I'll do is to give myself a comfortable window for getting the errands done. Probably as soon as I cut this part of the oval and this part of the oval, I'll probably end the live feed. But don't worry, Herb, and anybody else that cares, I will be back. I just want to get to this place before it closes. I could be back within the hour on a live feed. So if you're on YouTube, click the bell for notifications, and please subscribe. If you're on Facebook, just monitor my profile, and I will be back. But I'm going to do these 2 cuts before I go. Thank you for being a supporter of the show, Wayne. I appreciate that. Even if you laugh at me, it's still viewership, and I appreciate that. Anthony Campbell, where do you get the carbon paper that big to be able to trace the bigger patterns like that? I get it off of Amazon. The place that sells it goes by CRE. That stands for Cedar Rock Enterprises. Yeah, I get it off of Amazon. They come in humongous sheets, but I cut them into page-size sheets because I use the carbon paper for making the patterns. And once I've used it, I can't reuse it for a pattern because it'll have skips in the line because of the carbon paper being taken off. But I cut it down to page-size sheets, and I keep the used ones for tracing patterns onto the wood. This is a bunch of old used ones. But the reason why I like this particular carbon paper is because it's dark. Some of them come out about the consistency of a light colored pencil, but this comes out pretty darn dark, so that's why I like it. Cedar Rock Enterprises on Amazon, or CRE. They come in very large sheets. I just cut them down, so I don't use them fresh out of the packaging to trace onto the wood. I use the ones to do that. And there's another long answer to a short question. Jeff Robinson says, time to go to the coal garage to drill 4 toilet holes I missed. Well, by golly, all right. Appreciate you being here, Jeff. Appreciate everybody. I appreciate everybody for being here. I'm going to finish the interior oval cuts here, and then we will in the live feed, but probably within the hour I will be back. But I can't control when the stores close. So I hope if y'all aren't set for notifications, please subscribe. Click on the bell to be notified if you're watching on YouTube. And on Facebook, I guess just usually on the live feeds will say, click here to get notified when Charles goes live, kind of thing. I'm not sure how Facebook sets it up, but I hope y'all will continue to follow along. And definitely, I encourage any questions and comments. If they're family friendly, I will address them publicly. Okay, last swig of Dr. Pepper. Let's get this oval finished up. Except for that hook. I'm going to do that hook at the very end of the whole project because it'll be brittle. Okay. Hopefully I don't break a blade while doing this, because when I'm working on one long consistent line, I hate it when the blade breaks. If you see me going back and forth, it's because I'm trying to shave to get back to the line if I go off of it. And of course, it's just going to be a little wavy. I can always go back and fine tune it. Plus, the further I get away from where my hands are, the more the piece is going to vibrate because of its size. Because obviously, if my hands are right there by the blade, it won't vibrate as much. Let me turn it around. Trying to get back on the line. I'm still going to have to fine tune it a little bit, but for the sake of cutting, it'll be okay. Have little bitty waves and little bitty flat spots in there that can be shaved away later. You'll notice the further away it gets from my hand, the more you can hear that chatter. That's why I reset like I'm doing now, and you won't hear that chatter quite as much. I'm going against my usual visual comfort right now because I'm pushing or pulling the piece towards me instead of pushing it. But so far we're okay. I'm going to try to perfect the circle of this tire by cutting it round and instead of sloppy the way I have it drawn. But out of habit, I try to follow the line, so I could butcher this and trying to correct it. No, I think we'll be okay. And I got a little wide. So let me come at it from the other side. I know that seems silly. It really is that visual comfort thing. Come at it from the other side. I'll have a little more control. Ow. Bump the camera while you're at it. Jeb Robinson says pilot hole. Oh, the toilet hole was a typo or an autocorrect probably. Toilet holes. I just figured you were working on plumbing stuff. All right. This is another sloppy line, but I'll just compensate it for it while I'm cutting it. Again, the whole comfort thing, I'm cutting where I'm pushing the piece away from myself. So let me get more in the camera here. Again, if you go off the line, be consistent with it or you'll have a big divot in your line. I can already see where I got to fix a wave or two. Actually, I don't need to because this is an old beat up truck. So for the sake of the bumper, I'm not going to worry about it, at least not right now. But if I change my mind, you'll know in real time because I do that a lot. Yeah, I may leave it wavy. Because I've never seen an old truck with a perfect bumper unless it's restored. There we go. Plus, once you get that waste piece out of there, it's easier to see the flaws in the line. It's not that bad. It's just slightly wavier than I intended it. But I can fine tune the oval here, but it doesn't need much at all. All right. One more piece of the oval and I will set the camera here to catch that. If I can find the pilot hole. Let me check that tension one last time. Seems a tad loose. Nope, it's not. Just imagining things. actually cut that narrower than I wanted to. And I think other scrollers do, quote unquote, make mistakes, but I like to own up to it when I do. I'm not saying other scrollers are bad, but I want everybody watching to know that I'm human, and it's okay if you don't get it exactly the way you want it. And it could very well have a little, if not a lot, to do with breaking your blade. That was not what I meant to say, but I forgot what my point was. Because of the whole visual comfort thing, I was pulling instead of pushing, but that's not a good excuse. I still went off the line and had to compensate for it. At least I was done doing the outside of the oval when that happened, because it's more embarrassing when I have that mojo going on and I break a blade. Reset the tension, potentially. All right. Dialed in there. Let's finish this cut, and I'll go ahead and do the visual comfort thing and start from the other end to push it away from me rather than pulling it. I mean, pull it towards me versus pushing it. You know what I mean? No, I know what I mean. I just can't get it out of my mouth. I want to cut this way instead of never mind. I'm just going to stop trying to talk because my brain is not cooperating with my speaker. Oh, that's funny right there. I'm trying to get a better view of the whole thing while I'm doing this. This part right here will be my last cut for this live feed, but I probably will be starting the live feed right back up within the hour. I just have to run an errand right quick before the store closes. So I hope y'all understand. I hope you will be back. I know right now there's 10 people taking time out of their day. Now there's 11. I appreciate it. Make sure if you're on YouTube, I hope you'll subscribe. So if you do subscribe, either way, make sure you hit that bell on YouTube to be notified. I am told that YouTube video quality on these live feeds is better than Facebook. I go by Charles Deering Scroll on YouTube, but you should be able to find me under just Charles Deering. And if you want to connect on Facebook for any reason, I go by the Charles Deering on there. Because I'm quite confident within the hour I will restart this live feed. camera up just a bit, get it off my belly. Well, as much as I can anyway. That is what we're working with. I have to go run an errand, but I promise you within the hour I will be back to do a live feed. So make sure you get your notifications set up. I appreciate everybody that stuck around. And let me adjust the... Oh, Herb Hooper says I'll be here waiting. I appreciate it, Herb. Back later says Mike Kim. Gonna watch Alien Queen carving in the meantime. All right. I appreciate everybody being here. Comments and questions, feel free to keep them coming. Within the hour, I will be back, so please check your notifications. But in the meantime, you just need to scroll on.